Yinzers, my name is Jack Sperry. Thanks for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday, and we've got some great Steelers content to cover today. Here with the Steelers Live community, it's going to be a great show. So what's coming up here? Let me tell you. All right, so we got the takeaways from today's practice. Day 2 of pads was today. I got 5 takeaways that I'm going to be sharing with you guys here in just a couple of minutes. And then I've got some early camp overreactions that I want to break down with you guys, quell some of these rumors that are going around, these overreactions that you're seeing on Twitter. And then also we got the Steelers Live mailbag. That will be happening on our second segment on today's show. So if you've got a question and you want to get on the show today, you got to make sure you use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get on today's show. Use hashtag Steelers. Get those questions in there. I know it's an eventful day today with the big news coming out. And, of course, that big news happens to be Cory Trice Jr., the 7th-round rookie out of Purdue, goes down with a non-contact leg injury yesterday. And it comes out today that he has now been put on the reserved/injured list, which means he will be out for the entirety of the 2023 season. And listen, it is a really, really tough situation for Cory, somebody that I was really excited to see play here in 2023. I thought he was going to be a fantastic player for the black and gold this year, really work his way into the lineup and really solidify himself as one of the big-time starters heading into the 2024 season. But now it seems like it's going to be a huge question mark going into year 2 for Cory Trice. And it really reminds me a lot of the Calvin Austin III injury last year during training camp, where it's this really exciting young rookie that you're really hoping is going to have a great rookie season. And then, boom, gone for the season. And it's just really a tough situation for Cory. If you want to check out my full breakdown, we have the full breakdown of the news on the channel right now. You can go check that out either right now or after today's live stream. Lots of good information there. The Steelers also signed 2 players. If you want to see who they signed, you can go ahead and check that out. And we've got and guys, let's go ahead and show some love right now to Cory Trice Jr. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. For a minute straight, we are going to put 27 in the chat as many times as humanly possible, and we are going to break the Steelers Talk chat rate record here for Mr. Cory Trice. All right, so get those 27s in as much as you can go. Go, 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 go. Don't stop. Get those in there. Get those chats in there. We're going to break the record right now. Come on, Yinzers. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Get those in there now. We got about 45 seconds. Come on, show Cory that love now. Come on. Get it in there. Get it in there. Get it in there. As many times as you can go. 30 seconds. Come on. I'm right there with you, Steelers Nation. Come on. Get those 27s in there. As many times as you can put it in there. Let's go. 15 seconds. Come on now. Finish strong. Finish strong. All right. There we go. We got the full minute. There we go. Showed some love for Mr. Cory Trice Jr. We are hoping that he makes a speedy and full recovery from what I'm assuming is a full ACL tear. So we're really wishing him the best of luck. Now, shifting to today's show. We got a special promotion today. Jeremy Chuggs is not with me today, so I can't slap him, unfortunately. But we are doing a Chubby Bunny Challenge with the Nerd Clusters today. So here's the deal, guys. Every 10 likes that we get, we're adding a nerd cluster to the total, and then also every $10 in super chats, it's going to be another nerd cluster. Then at the end of the show, I'm going to eat all those nerd clusters in a row. So right now we got 13 likes, 58 people watching. So that's one nerd cluster. Add it to the total. I'm going to eat it at the end of today's show. We've also got a shorter super chat menu today. $5 will get you a Here We Go Steelers chant. I got my terrible towel waiting right here. A $20 super chat. I'll eat a Bean-Boozled jelly bean for you guys. I hate these things, but for a 20, I'll do it. And if you want to join the exclusive Steelers Talk Gold Club, it's going to take $100 total on today's show, and it's a lifetime membership, and this is what you guys could win. You get a Super Chat sticker so that every time they use Super Chat, every time we put one of your comments from the chat in the chat here on the screen, It's going to show a little sticker that says Steelers Talk Gold Club on there. Also, I'll give you a follow back on Twitter and Instagram, whatever your social media is. And then also you get 3 free raffle tickets for every single raffle that we do on the channel forever. Okay, so I'm looking at Week 1 watch party versus the San Francisco 49ers. We are going to be doing a Joey Porter Jr. Steelers jersey giveaway. Okay, so if you want 3 free raffle tickets for that raffle, Week 1 versus the 49ers, $100 total is what it's going to take. And then I want to give a little bit of shout out to all of the current Gold Club members. If you join the Gold Club, you get a shout out on every single show. Austin Tardif, Mo Love, Brian Love, Anthony Fuller, Nathan Glass, James Lombardo, DJ V, Patty Gustafson, Elliptic 6, our newest member of Steelers Talk Gold Club, and you could be next today for $100 total on today's stream. Now let's go to the Super Chats, producer Tex. We've got quite a few of them already, which I love, man. First one came from DJ KJ. $10 super chat. This is what he had to say. Who will be the wide receiver? Who will be the wide receiver on the Steelers this year? I think he's asking who's going to be the wide receiver 1 on the Steelers this year. So I'm going to actually answer this question, DJ KJ. First question of the mailbag, producer Tex, okay? So thank you so much for your $10, Mr. DJ KJ. And then we got $20 from Alexander Watson. What's good, my guy? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Steelers Talk Live. We are getting things going, and I'm absolutely loving it. And we also got a $5 super chat text, if we can put that up here. All right, from Chase. He says, if DJ doesn't have a 1,000-yard season this year, do you think the Steelers will move on from him next offseason? And just like DJ KJ's question, Chase, we're going to put this one right at the top of the Steelers Talk Live mailbag today. Appreciate the question and the $5 super chat. And you know what $5 super chats mean here on Steelers Talk? Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, man. Let's see. So we got 24 likes. Add another nerd cluster to the title or to the total. And we've got $35 in super chat rev already. I love it, Steelers Nation. So add 3 more nerd clusters to the total. I've already got 5. Let's keep adding today, man. Let's keep adding. All right. So coming up on the show here, takeaways from Steelers practice. They just wrapped up in Latrobe. Can't wait to share those takeaways with you guys. Later in today's show, I've got some overreactions that I want to break down with you guys today. And then also we got the Steelers Live Q&A mailbag coming your way. Make sure you use hashtag Steelers and Super Chat to get those questions in. And before we get into today's show, we need to get to at least 30 likes on today's show. We need to get at least 30 likes before we start our first segment. We need to add another nerd cluster right now. So if you're one of the 65 people that have not liked today's show just yet, click that thumbs up icon and get us going right now. Get us going. We're at 29. Who's going to be that 30th? All right, we got there. Let's go. All right. Producer Tex, are we ready to go? All right, we've got our first segment today, which is takeaways from today's Steelers practice in Latrobe, coming at you right now. Steelers practice on Wednesday is in the books, and I've got 5 takeaways to share with you guys here in just a second. But before I do that, help out Steelers Talk here by liking today's video and clicking that thumbs up icon. It's a free and easy way to help us out. So I'd really, really appreciate if you start off today's show by clicking that thumbs up icon. Now we get into my takeaways from today's Steelers practice. And the first one was that the red zone offense took a step back today, okay? And during 7 shots, which means 7 opportunities to get a touchdown at the beginning of practice, they only had 1 touchdown today to Darnell Washington. Now, Kenny Pickett did connect with George Pickens, but the referee said that he had one of his feet out of bounds, so there's that. But, I mean, just yesterday, the Steelers' red zone offense was bloody fantastic. Multiple touchdowns and multiple segments of practice, and today just not as successful. And you take a look at that red zone percentage for the Steelers back in 2022, just 51.9% touchdown percentage, touchdown efficiency, which is good for 23rd in the National Football League. And, this step back today, I'm not going to overreact to it. Yesterday was a very good day for the offense, both the first, second, and third teams. But today it was the exact opposite. Just one touchdown today to Darnell Washington, and it was I believe it was the second team in there during 7 shots today. It just wasn't overall the best start for the offense in that red zone period. So let me know how you're feeling about the Steelers offense heading into 2023. Do the Pittsburgh Steelers have a top 10 red zone offense heading into the 2023 season? Give me an HY for hell yes, or give me an HN for hell no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then my second takeaway from Latrobe today is that Calvin Austin III is a freaking weapon, my man. I mean, Calvin Austin III, the things that he can do, just the fact that he can get open so quickly down the field, it is such an asset to Matt Canada and this Steelers offense. Last year, did not play whatsoever. Of course, he had that major foot injury. He's coming back this year. And let me tell you, these clips that are coming out of Latrobe right now, he hasn't lost a single step. Now, he's not going to be the best contested catch receiver out there in the National Football League. He's only 5'9", 162 pounds. Not going to be much in terms of blocking either. But in terms of somebody that can just win deep and make those big plays happen, Calvin Austin III had multiple long touchdowns during the team period today. He looked fantastic. He was probably the best overall receiver on the Steelers roster during practice today. At least that's what the reports are saying. So I got some more takeaways to share with you guys here in just a second. But first, if you need more black and gold in your closet here, getting ready for that Week 1 matchup versus the 49ers, that our friends at Fanatics have this awesome Steelers t-shirt combo for you to take advantage of. Go to chatsports.com/Steelers combo to get your hands on this awesome pair of that short sleeve with that long sleeve. It's a really good combo, guys. Take advantage of that right now while you still can. Then my third takeaway from practice today was that third-string running back Anthony McFarland continued to impress, this time as a wide receiver as well as a running back. Now, last year, Anthony had a little bit of production last year, but not much. And now he's coming into this year hoping to be that locked-in number 3 running back. And I think he's doing a great job at really solidifying himself in that role. Of course, you add John Lovett and Greg Bell to the roster just yesterday. But with the way that Najee Harris, Jalen Ward, and Anthony McFarland are all playing well in practice right now, I think those three are going to be the 3 guys that end up making the roster. Darius Hagans, it is worth noting, had a couple fumbles today, so it looks like he might be having a security issue with the football, and we just haven't seen enough of John Lovett or Greg Bell to really make an assessment of them just yet. So I really like that Anthony McFarland is doing a good job in practice, and I think that he's got that number 3 running back spot completely locked up at this point. Then we move on to my fourth takeaway here, which is that newly signed nose tackle Braden Fahoku is eating up space in the middle of the Steelers defense, and he's actually looking pretty darn well. You bring him in to compete with Montravius Adams and Keanu Benton in the center of the defensive line. And Fahoku has looked really, really good against the run to this point in camp. He has been a major winner, apparently, in terms of stuffing the run, eating up space in the middle of the defense, and forcing the running backs to kick outside. And he's not getting moved whatsoever, which is exactly what you want to see from a nose tackle. That was the big problem with Montravius Adams and Tyson Alualu last year, is that they could get moved pretty darn easily with a double team. Fahoku seems to be more stand pat, seems to be stronger in the center of that defense, and he's harder to put off the spot, at least through the first couple days of camp, which is really, really encouraging to hear. And because of that, I think he's going to end up making the roster. Now, is he going to be an every down starter? I highly doubt it. But bringing a guy like this, who is extremely strong, who holds up space, who eats up space in the middle of the defensive line, is incredibly valuable, not only as a run defender, not only in those short area situations, but also on the goal line and on special teams. Having somebody that is a rock in the center there is absolutely essential. for a modern NFL team, and Braden Fajoku seems to be fitting that bill, and that's why I think he's going to end up making the final 53. Now, before I reveal my last takeaway today, if you're looking for more NFL content on Twitter, specifically for the Steelers, I post a bunch of stuff about Steelers practice, Steelers clips from practice on my Steelers-specific Twitter page. You can find that at Sperry_Yens. Give me a follow today if you want to keep up with everything going around in Latrobe. And now my final takeaway from practice today is that Cody White, backup wide receiver, is looking nice through the first days of camp. Cody is somebody that spent most of the 2022 season on the Steelers practice squad. He only suited up for one game last year. He had one catch for 2 yards, but throughout camp so far, he's been running mostly with the twos and the threes, but he's been looking pretty darn good. He's a bigger wide receiver at 6'3", 215 pounds, and he's kind of trying to compete with Miles Boykin and Hakeem Butler as kind of that backup X receiver just in case George Pickens ends up getting hurt. Cody's been somebody that's been impressive to this point, and it's looking like he's starting to make a solid case for himself to end up making the final 53-man roster. I think he's going to have to perform in those preseason games to really get himself over the top of both Boykin and Hakeem Butler and make the final roster. But man, the way that he's playing right now, I'm impressed. I'll just have to say that. Now you be the GM for me down in the comments section. Should Cody White make the final Steelers roster here for 2023? Give me a simple yes or give me a no, and then let me know why down there in the comments section. Now, before I go, I want to give some injury updates from practice today, starting with DeMarvin Leal, the second-year defensive lineman, and he came off with, it seemed like an ankle injury, and he had to get it checked out today. He was putting his shoe back on, tying it up, trying to get back into the final kind of reps of practice, but he never eventually got back in. He didn't get into that last team period. He got injured during that team period there between the offensive line versus the defensive line, and then he came off for a little bit. But if anything, it's just going to be like a mild sprain. I think he's going to be okay. And speaking of mild injuries, Joey Porter Jr. also walked off gingerly towards the end of practice today. It's worth keeping an eye on him, especially because Cory Trice Jr. is now out for the season. And speaking of that is absolutely the news today, is that Cory Trice Jr. is now out for the season with a significant knee injury. At least that's the way that Mike Tomlin put it today, and that's very sad news. But if you want to see me break down the Cory Trice injury news and what it means for the Steelers defense, I'm going to put the link to this video here in the comments and description of today's video where you can see my entire breakdown. All right, that's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button right now for extensive Steelers news and rumors coverage every single day during the Steelers preseason, leading up to week 1 for that matchup against the 49ers. All right, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Appreciate the support. I'll see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers. All right, that's going to be it for our first segment today. So let me know down there in the comments section, does Pittsburgh have a top 10 red zone offense this year? Give me an HY for hell yes or HN for hell no. Going to be giving some shout outs here, so get those HYs or HNs in there right now. Woo! First one in the books. I love it. All right, so coming up here, we got the Steelers Live Q&A, the mailbag, the weekly mailbag where I answer your questions on the black and gold. You got to make sure you use hashtag Steelers and Super Chat in order to get on the show here. We already have a couple of those Super Chats coming in. We got to get those hashtag Steelers in there now if we want to get things going. All right, we still need a couple more questions, so get those questions in at hashtag Steelers. And we've got a couple of responses here. Pickett VFX says, hell yes. Chris C says, hell yes, the Steelers have a top 10 red zone offense. Alexander Watson says, hell yes. Steelers dad says, I want to say hell yes, but way too worried about Canada. I agree with that. Alex Manderful says, hell yes. I like that as well. Yeah, man, I would say that I would think that the Steelers, probably not top 10. I would hope for top 15 production, at least get above average this year. But last year, Kenny Pickett had the lowest red zone touchdown percentage of any quarterback in the National Football League. That needs to improve, in my opinion. And then Matt Canada has to prove his chops here as a play caller in the red zone. Last year was atrocious. He needs to get better in that regard. Now, in case you missed the beginning of the show, I got these nerd clusters right here. For every 10 likes, we're adding a cluster. I see that we got 40 likes, so we're adding another cluster here. And right now, for every $10 in super chats, we are adding a nerd cluster to the title. I'm going to be eating a whole cluster of clusters here towards the end of the show. So get those likes in if you haven't already. Get those super chats if you haven't already. Really do appreciate it here. Producer Tex, how we doing on questions, my friend? All right, we still need a couple more questions here. So if you got a question, hashtag Steelers or super chat to get those questions in. I think that there's a lot of interesting stuff with Matt Canada right now, Kenny Pickett right now, Cory Trice Jr. If you got any questions on the Pittsburgh Steelers, the injury stuff going on today, don't be afraid. Get in the comments section right now so we can get to today's mailbag. We got a couple of really good questions to start off, too. All right. Yeah, the two supers off the top, Producer Tex. Yep. All right, man. Heather Vono, I see you in the chat. I see you put your question in there, but no hashtag Steelers. You got to use hashtag Steelers so we can see your question, and that's a good question. So I want to get that one on the show. Got to use hashtag Steelers. All right. Oh, and I forgot. We got a $20 super chat, and I didn't do a Bean-Boozled. Yeah, go ahead. A $20 super chat. It's the rules here on Steelers Talk. Alexander Watson, you put in a 20. So I've got this Bean-Boozled jelly bean. This one is dead fish or strawberry banana smoothie. Okay? I don't like either one of these. All right, let's do it. It was dead fish, guys. Oh, good Lord. And we got another $10 super chat from Alexander Watson coming in today. What's up, my man? Do you believe that we will have more mid and deep throws than we did last year? I'm going to answer this question on the Steelers Talk mailbag today. And then also, $10 from Mr. Brian Love, a Steelers Talk Gold Club member, coming in here. He says, we'll get your super chat up in a second here, Brian. Let's get Brian's super chat up, Mr. Tex. All right, there it is. Did anybody see or hear about Matt Canada signing a toilet seat for a fan? What a bonehead. This one's not going on the mailbag, Tex. Oh, my gosh, I saw that too, Brian. What a clown. I mean, come on. Why else would somebody bring a toilet seat to training camp practice and want you specifically to sign it? Take a freaking hint, buddy. All right, so those two $10 super chats, we added two more clusters, and then another $10 super chat. $10 from Brian, $55 today? Is this a super chat or no, Producer Tex? It's not on super chats. $10 from Brian, $55. Oh, yeah, yep. That's right. So we added a couple more. I see where you're going with that, Pickett VFX. Appreciate you, man. Text, are we good on questions here? Yep. Okay, man. Coming up here, we got the Steelers Talk Live mailbag where I'm answering your questions. Let's get into that right now, Producer Tex. Let's hit it. Today, I am answering your Steelers questions on the Steelers Talk Live show. And if you're watching this and it's not Wednesday, that means you missed the live show, but that's okay because we still got Steelers questions and they're coming your way. Before we get into the questions today, do me a favor, join the most interactive Steelers YouTube community here on the platform by subscribing to the channel. If you want to get your Steelers questions and have your voice heard on the Pittsburgh Steelers, this is the place for you. So click that subscribe button for me right now. And we'll start off this week's mailbag with a DJ KJ's question, who says, who will be the number one wide receiver on the Steelers this year? I think that it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be George Pickens, because the things that I'm seeing from him are absolutely fantastic. The catches, the ability to go on that dig route and get big chunk plays that way. I just think that he's an absolute weapon. I think Matt Canada is making it more of a priority to get him the football this season. And listen, I love Deontay Johnson. He's a great route runner, probably a top 5 route runner in the National Football League. All right, but I think that some guys are just built different, and I think George Pickens is one of those guys. I compare his skill set to DeAndre Hopkins, whereas Deontay Johnson is like a Brandon Cooks almost, like a shorter receiver, good route runner. You know, he's going to be very reliable for you when you put him in the slot. But in terms of a true alpha-type number one wide receiver, I think that's George Pickens, and I think that's who's going to be the wide receiver one this year. Then we got a $5 super chat from Chase, first-time super chatter, actually. And he says, if DJ doesn't have a 1,000-yard season this year, do you think the Steelers will move on from him next offseason? I don't think so. I think that they really like Deontay Johnson, but I think some of that production, some of those yards are going to go in George Pickens' direction. They're going to go in Pat Freiermuth's direction, right? So even if he doesn't get to 1,000 yards this year, I think that he's still going to be a very productive player that gets open a ton, and he's going to be one of the best number 2 receivers in the league if George Pickens does, in fact, take that second-year leap. So I really think they like Deontay. So unless he has a really bad season this year, I don't see them parting ways with him whatsoever. Then we got a $10 super chat from Alexander Watson, who says, do you believe that we will have more mid and deep throws than we did last year? I freaking hope so, Alex. I really hope so, man. Last year was a lot of short passes towards the outside, lots of curl routes, lots of comeback routes, lots of out routes, and there just wasn't a whole lot of opportunity for guys to catch the ball and run after the catch. That's been a big focus for the Steelers in the passing game this offseason, according to Matt Canada, Mike Tomlin, and that Steelers offensive coaching staff. So I'm excited to see what's happening. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Steelers practice over the last couple of days, especially from George Pickens. And if you got a weapon like George Pickens that can really kill you deep, intermediate, and short the way that he can do, I say get him the football as much as freaking possible. And if there's not more mid and deep throws this year, Alex, Matt Canada absolutely needs to get fired. Then we got a question from Rudolph's Burner, and he says, hear me out. Trade Najee and a third for Jonathan Taylor. Wow. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. I think that the problem with this, Rudolph's Burner, is when you trade for Jonathan Taylor, you're going to have to give him a big extension, like highest in the NFL type of extension. And after the season he had last year, I don't want to give him that kind of money with how much they're already spending on the defense. The Steelers just can't afford Jonathan Taylor at this point. I'm not even sure if they're going to be able to afford Najee Harris when his contract comes up here in a couple of years. So although it's an interesting idea, I guess, I'm gonna decline that trade offer if I'm Omar Khan. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Is this a good idea? Should the Steelers trade for running back Jonathan Taylor and give up Najee Harris in order to do so? Give me an HY for hell yes, or give me an HN for hell no. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time by giving me an HY or an HN right now in the comments. Got another question here from Micro S Supreme, I'm going to say. Who do you think will start week 1, Dan Moore or Broderick Jones? That's a good question, man. I think it's going to depend on how Broderick does throughout training camp. The Steelers coaching staff has been extremely clear. If Broderick Jones can play and he is ready, he's going to play. Okay, plain and simply, he's the future. When he's ready, he's coming out of the oven, so to speak. Okay, but the question is he going to be ready, right? He was pretty raw in pass protection coming out of the University of Georgia. And if it's still pretty raw by the end of the preseason, I say go with Dan Moore Jr. He's the better pass protector right now, in my opinion, and he's fine as a run blocker. So I think that you want to protect Kenny Pickett at all costs. So I think that if Broderick Jones isn't ready, there's no harm in starting the season with Dan Moore as your starting left tackle. Then we got a question from Alex Manderful. What's up, Alex? Says, how do you feel about Monte Pottebaum retirement? I think it's interesting because he was there for a couple of practices during training camp, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to retire. I'm gonna go pursue I think it's in the medical field that he's going to go back to school for now. The big question for me is, why didn't you come to this realization before you wanted to enter the NFL? And then even then, like once you came to the league and you figured out that this isn't for you, like during OTAs and minicamp, why didn't you retire then? Why did you have to wait for like the second day of training camp to announce your retirement? I just think that's a little weird, man, but best of luck to Monty the Mullet. Then we got Trey Roberson here. And he says, Joe concerned should we be with Joey Porter Jr. possible injury? So he was a little bit ginger coming off the field at practice today, but let's just say the trainers weren't giving him a ton of attention. Okay, so if anything, it's just probably going to be like a mild sprain or something like that. He'll be back in a couple of weeks at the very most, in my opinion. I definitely don't think this is going to be a Cory Trice Jr. situation. I would say don't get too worried or riled up about the Joey Porter Jr. situation. Then there's a question from I Miss Le'Veon here. He says, has your confidence level in Matt Canada increased or decreased during training camp? So it's weird because it's a day-by-day thing for me with Matt Canada. Like there's some days like today where you go 1 for 7 in the red zone and it looks terrible. And then there's days like yesterday where you're scoring touchdown after touchdown in the red zone period and everything's looking fantastic. So I would say slightly increased. I like the ways that they're using George Pickens. I think the run game has been looking pretty decent. But I have to see this in an actual game. I have to see this stuff on film with all 22 film to really say that I am 100% confident in Matt Canada heading into this year. But now let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. What is your confidence level? And offensive coordinator Matt Canada right now, has it increased or decreased? Give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10 on how confident you are in the Steelers offensive coordinator. Then we got a question from Chase, another one here. He says, if the Steelers make the playoffs, what are the chances of getting to the Super Bowl? I think we max out at a divisional round appearance, just my opinion. And listen, Chase, it's going to be very difficult to get out of the AFC, especially in the next decade. I'm just going to warn you guys right now, with Lamar Jackson, now Aaron Rodgers, Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson if he gets back to that 2020 version of himself. Right, there's so many guys. Trevor Lawrence is coming up. Justin Herbert. There's so many good quarterbacks in the AFC conference right now and so many good teams that if you make it to the playoffs, even if you're like the number 1 seed, it's going to be tough to get through this gauntlet. So I'm looking at the Steelers. Chances of making a Super Bowl are low, but that's because a lot of teams' chances are low in this division. There isn't a clear favorite, in my opinion, this year, and I don't see a clear favorite emerging in the future. Like Kansas City is probably the presumptive favorite, but even then, like they don't have a true number 1 wide receiver this year, right? They lost their starting right tackle. So I'm looking at the AFC. I think it's anyone's game, and if you can get a ticket to the dance, at least you've got a shot. Then we got a question from Young Noticeable. What's up, Young? Says, what's your one-word reaction on Pickens mossing JPJ? Also, did you see Travis Kelce swinging on his defense? Got to be pumped for the football season. My one-word reaction for the Pickens catch was alien. The dude's a freak. The dude is an absolute monster. Making that kind of catch where he's hanging in the air one-handed over a defender, only maybe like 2 or 3 players in the National Football League could make that play, and George Pickens is one of them. I feel so lucky that the Steelers have Mr. Pickens as their wide receiver 1, I think, going into the season this year, and I can't wait to see him play this year. Then we got Sperry Psychos in the chat. What's up, my man? says, what was your favorite part of your trip to Pittsburgh? I would say training camp practice. I loved going to training camp. All the people that came up to me during, I was walking around the grounds there at Latrobe, all the people that stopped me and said, hey, man, you do a great job on your show. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan. That meant the world to me, man. The people that came up to me, you guys know who you are. I appreciate the support. And the amount of love and support that I feel from this community is just unmatched, in my opinion. And I love you guys. All right, so go ahead and like today's video to help out the channel right now. Really do appreciate all the support, guys. It's a free and easy way to help us out. If you want to give us a little bit of love today, go ahead and click that thumbs up icon right now. Then we got a question from Noah Hood, who says, who will be the starting linebackers? So I think it's going to work out this way, depending on how things go in training camp practice. But my best guess right now is that Cole Holcomb is going to be your true every down starter. He's going to play all the time. And then you've got two guys that I think are going to be rotation pieces. Landon Roberts, who's going to be playing early downs to kind of defend the run and blitz, which is kind of his specialty. And then also Quan Alexander, I think, will come in and be more of a pass coverage linebacker in those nickel sets, all these different things, trying on the third and longs, on the second and longs, obvious passing situations, late game situations, end of half situations. That's going to be Quan Alexander, in my opinion. And I think the reason why they want to do that is because Landon Roberts is a liability in pass coverage. Just the way it is, I think it's just not his strength. He's a really good run defender. He's a really good blitzer. It's just not his cup of tea to go back in zone coverage and read the quarterback. Then we got a question from Pickett VFX here. He says, why do you think Canada didn't trust Pickett deep last season? Do you think he will trust him this season? Now, if George Pickens and Matt Canada and Kenny Pickett and all these people that have been talking to the media aren't bullshitting here, it's looking like they're going to be throwing the ball deep a lot more this season. And I say good. You've got one of the best, if not the best 50-50 ball receiver in the league right now in George Pickens. You have to take advantage of that. You got a guy in Calvin Austin III who is an absolute burner. You got to take advantage of that. And I think that Pickett, although he doesn't have the strongest arm in the world, he's got a very good deep ball, right? He puts nice touch on there. We've seen that in the clips on Twitter throughout this training camp so far. The kid can play, all right? The kid can play, and I think that Matt Canada is finally ready to say, go out there and make stuff happen for us, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. That's going to be it for today's show, guys. Really do appreciate all the support. Make sure you click that subscribe button for more interactive mailbags, Steelers news and rumors coverage throughout training camp, throughout the preseason, leading up to that Week 1 matchup versus the San Francisco 49ers. Steelers Talk is your home for Steelers coverage. All right, so coming up here, we got training camp overreactions to this point. So it looks like we got a couple of super chats here, Tex, so let's show those right away. We got a couple. I don't know how much that one is, but we got a $10. I think I recognize that. Hey, it is Austin Tardif. What's up, my dude? Welcome into the show. Producer Tex is getting your super chat up. There it is. He says, hit me with a recap, Sperry. Sorry, I'm late. So first two segments are in the book. Here, Austin just did the mailbag. First segment was takeaways from practice. That cut will be on the channel later this evening, so you can check that out then. Earlier today, it was announced that Cory Trice Jr. out for the season, likely with a torn ACL. Mike Tomlin said it was a significant knee injury. It's pretty much a torn ACL, guys. So that's kind of the gist of things. Also put a video on that out earlier today. So that's kind of the recap. And then we got Mo Love. Gold Club is showing up today, man. Let's go. And he sent a pair character jumping up and down. And guys, the $10 super chats, let's show that graphic, Tex. $10 super chats, add a nerd cluster to a Chubby Bunny challenge today. So that's what I'm going to be doing at the end of today's show. Right now, we've got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 nerd clusters that I'm going to have to do Chubby Bunny with at the end of the show. We also have 53 likes, so I need to add another one. So we've got 12 nerd clusters. Let's keep building, man. Let's keep building. Who wants to join Steelers Talk Gold Club today, dude? Let's get this going. All right. Let me take a little drink here. Woo! All right. So we got 71 people watching. 55 people have liked the show. Make sure you click that like button to keep those nerd clusters flowing today. And then also coming up here, I got training camp overreactions so far in Steelers training camp. I'm going to tell you which overreactions to believe and which ones to maybe not believe so much, man. All right. Thank you guys so much for the Super Chats. We're up at $84, $85 in Super Chats right now. Let's keep this thing going. All right. Coming up here right now, Mr. Tex, we're ready. Coming up here, training camp overreactions for your Pittsburgh Steelers. What the fuck? Sorry, man. Let's start that over one more time, Tex. All right, let's go. Steelers training camp is in full swing, and there have been some crazy overreactions going around Twitter right now. I'm going to be reacting to some of those in just a second. But before we get into today's overreactions, help us out here at Steelers Talk and thank us for the work that we do. We work around the clock to give you guys the best damn Steelers coverage on the platform for free. So to show a little appreciation here, I really appreciate it if you click that thumbs up icon and like today's video. So the first overreaction today is that George Pickens has already overtaken the wide receiver 1 spot from Diontae Johnson. Now, my take on this is that it's kind of reasonable, all right? I don't think he's all the way there yet. I still think he has to prove it in the regular season to really establish himself, but I'm loving what I'm seeing from George Pickens this year, and I think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. I compare his game to DeAndre Hopkins. The hands, the body control, the kinds of catches that this guy can make is absolutely incredible. We've seen it with a number of catches to this point in his career. We saw it with the game against Cleveland last year on, I believe it was Monday Night Football or Prime Video. I can't remember which one it was, but look at that catch. He came down with that, man. That's absolutely fantastic. And then there was the catch from yesterday where he's going over Joey Porter Jr., which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, just there might be like 2 or 3 people on the planet Earth right now that can make that catch, and the Pittsburgh Steelers have one of them in George Pickens. I think in his prime, DeAndre Hopkins probably could have made that catch. Can he do it now? I mean, maybe. I still think he's a really good receiver. But, man, the kinds of catches that George can make are special. And if Matt Canada can utilize him in the right way this year, I think he's going to be one hell of a football player over the next decade. But now that comes to the question, what about Diontae Johnson? He's still one of the best route runners in the National Football League, and you'd be 100% correct on that. I love DJ. I think that he gets open all the time, and last year he was the most valuable receiver on the Steelers roster, especially on third down. The Steelers had the number 1 third down offense last year in the second half of the season because Diontae Johnson was always open for Kenny Pickett when he needed him to be. But, you know, although I really like Diontae Johnson, George Pickens is just a special kind of dude. And listen, the job's not finished. He needs to prove it in the regular season. But I love the things that I'm seeing from George here in the early part of training camp to this point. And if he keeps it up, I absolutely think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver for the black and gold in 2023. But I want to hear from you guys. Who's your wide receiver 1 right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Do you think it's George Pickens? Give me a GP. Or do you think it's Diontae Johnson still? Give me a DJ. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube is going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. Take advantage of that time, but give me a GP or a DJ down there in the comments. Then the second overreaction from Steelers training camp that I want to talk about is that Kenny Pickett is going to be a legitimate MVP candidate this season. He is absolutely lighting it up. Now, this is a slight overreaction. Now, I think that Kenny is playing really, really well. I think that he's showing great command of the offense. He's only thrown 1 interception in the rain on a tip pass this entire training camp. That is bloody fantastic, and he's showing great accuracy with his deep ball as well, which I love to see. But listen, man, Kenny, I think that putting MVP expectations on this kid this early is a bit rich for me. I really like his skill set. I think he's a really good playmaker outside of the pocket. I think he's a great leader. But let's take a lesson from Mike Tomlin here and have some reasonable expectations for this kid. I think he's going to win a lot of football games this year. I think he's going to have a really great second season in the National Football League. I think he's going to become the undeniable leader of this football club. But to kind of put him in that range of like the Mahomes and the Herberts and the Aaron Rodgers already, and to have that expectation coming out of training camp, I think is a little bit rich for my blood. And listen, if it happens, great. I'm so happy if Kenny Pickett wins an MVP for the Steelers this year. The Steelers will be Super Bowl favorites if Kenny Pickett is the MVP of the National Football League this year. But I think that's more reasonable to expect him to be a really, really good player this year, but maybe not on an MVP kind of level. Now, I got some more overreactions for you guys here in just a second, but make sure if you believe in Kenny Pickett as the future of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you can get his jersey from our friends at Fanatics right now. Go to chatsports.com/Pickett to get officially licensed Kenny Pickett jersey in the color of your choice, black or white. Really great selection from our friends at Fanatics, so don't wait. Get yours today before the start of the 2023 season. Use our link, chatsports.com/Pickett, to get yours today. Then the third overreaction on my list today is that Mason Rudolph will be cut at the end of the preseason, and Tanner Morgan, the undrafted free agent, is going to become the emergency third quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I think this is a slight overreaction as well. I think that Mason hasn't played particularly well to this point in camp. Lots of interceptions, lots of poor throws, poor decisions from Mason, which I don't like. But listen, he's got the experience that Tanner Morgan simply doesn't. I think he's got a better arm than Tanner Morgan. I think that, with the connections that he has in the locker room, if he's forced to be that emergency quarterback, I think he's got the connections in the locker room where people are going to believe in Mason if it comes to that emergency situation. With an undrafted free agent rookie and Tanner Morgan, I'm just not too sure with that. Coming out of the University of Minnesota, it seems like he handles his business well. He's not afraid to throw the ball down the field, which is something that I like, but he just doesn't have the physical tools to be a National Football League quarterback, at least in my opinion. It would be nice to see if he proves me wrong on that. Maybe his arm got a lot stronger than from when I saw him on tape this year, but I really think that Mason Rudolph is that guy to be the number 3 quarterback. And although Mason, I will completely acknowledge, has not played well to this point in training camp, he has been a training camp loser, and he's leaving the door open for Tanner to swoop in if he plays well during the preseason. I still want to see how Mason plays in the actual preseason games, and I think at the end of the day, he will still be the number 3 quarterback for the Steelers. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Who is your QB3? Is it Mason Rudolph? Give me an MR. Or if you think it's going to be the undrafted free agent rookie from the Golden Gophers, give me a TM down there in the comments section. Then the number 4 overreaction that I have here is that the Steelers will have the number 1 defense in the National Football League for the 2023 season. And my take on this is that it's kind of reasonable, man. I'm looking at this defense, and they're absolutely flying around. Patrick Peterson is playing like 6 different positions, rotating at the snap, and you're adding that to a defense that was really good in 2022. You look at the overall defensive stats from last year, they're just okay. And this is what a lot of people around the NFL are looking at right now. Oh, the Steelers defense was okay in 2022, but what they really need to be looking at is their numbers with TJ Watt on the field. And when he's on the field, the Steelers had the best defense in the league. And that is with a secondary that was injured, that was dealing with injuries all season long. And now it's revamped with Joey Porter Jr. and Levi Wallace is back and Patrick Peterson is moving around. And you still got Demonte KZ and Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think this defense is going to play on that kind of level this year. And I think it's going to be a special group. Now, to guarantee they're going to be the best defense in the league, I think is a little foolhardy, right? There's a lot of good defenses in the National Football League. So maybe the Steelers are like a top 5 or a top 3 defense, and that might be like a more for sure bet. But listen, they absolutely have a shot to be the best defense in the National Football League with the pass rush that they have, the secondary that they have, and then the guys that they've got kind of moving around in the secondary as well. in the linebacking room. I am super, super excited to see what they are going to be able to do here in 2023. So now what say you guys? Do the Steelers have the best defense in the National Football League today? Give me a yes or give me a no down there in the comment section to let me know how you're feeling about the black and gold on the defensive side of the ball. Now make sure you subscribe to the channel here for more Steelers training camp coverage. We're going to have you guys covered with takeaways from practice. We're going to have you guys covered with cut candidates. We're going to have breaking news coverage whenever the Steelers make a move, every time there's an injury. If you want to be an expert on the 2023 Pittsburgh Steelers, this is the place for you. We got multiple videos a day for you guys, 100% free. So do me a favor right now and click that subscribe button. All right, we got a $5 super chat from Mr. Damian Roy. And he says, keep up the good work. Just got off work. Tired than a one-legged man moonwalking. Damian, that super chat reminds me of when Chugs did your dance last week, and I still have that video. I was laughing about that all weekend, man. And Tex, if you want to put Hot Rod 24's super chat up there and then grab my charger from my desk real quick. My computer's almost out of battery here. And Hot Rod 24 has this to say. Sperry, if salary cap, draft picks, and rivalries weren't an issue, who would be one player you'd want to bring to Pittsburgh? Also, F the Browns. Aaron Donald. I would say if all these things put aside, one player, I would want to see Aaron Donald on this defensive line with T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Cam Hayward. I think that would be the Steel Curtain reincarnated. I think that would be absolutely bloody fantastic. You're bringing back a Pittsburgh native and one of the best defensive players, if not the best defensive player to ever strap on a helmet. So for me, if I'm picking one player to bring in, I'm bringing in Aaron Donald, specifically in his prime. Thank you guys so much for those super chats. And those were $5 super chats, and you know what that means on Steelers Talk, baby. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. All right, thank you guys so much for your super chats. And we're going to put on a shot clock here because we got a Chubby Bunny challenge. We're adding one more to the total there because those two fives create a 10. We got up to 67 likes, so that's another one. We're up to 14 clusters here in just a second. We're just 3 likes away from putting another cluster on the pile, though. So if you haven't liked the video already, go ahead and do that now. Super chat rev right now at $95. Okay. So now I'm starting the clock. We're going to give you guys 3 minutes. 3 minutes to get super chats in. Every $10 is another nerd cluster. A 20-piece is 2 clusters plus a jelly bean. Let's get this going, man. You got 3 minutes. Let's finish out the show strong here. The real ones are going to show up right now. The real ones are going to be showing up right now in this portion of the show. Who's a real one? Let me know, man. All right, we're 1 like away from adding yet another nerd cluster where we've already gotten a ton. Let's keep them coming. We got 71 people watching. It's been a great show to this point. We're done with our cuts for the day, so now it's time to have some fun, Steelers Nation. We got to 70. There we go. Another one on the pile. If you haven't liked the show yet, go ahead and click that thumbs up icon. Let's get to 80. Let's get to 80 likes and put another nerd cluster on the pile. And, of course, send in a super chat. Send in a super chat if you want to send in even more. In case you missed the big news today, Cory Trice Jr. is out for the season with what is presumed to be an ACL tear. Mike Tomlin said it was a significant knee injury, whatever the heck that means, which we pretty much know is an ACL tear. But anyway, we're looking at that. That sucks, but it gives our boy Madre Harper a real shot at making the 53-man roster. So best of luck to Madre. He's a great dude. A lot of you guys watched that interview. It was an awesome interview. He's such a pleasure to talk with. He's so smart as well. I really hope that he could take advantage of that opportunity. And we got a $20 super chat from Alexander Watson. Man, Alex, Tex, you can confirm this for me real quick. How much is he at total? Is he at 50? Because, oh, we got another 20 from Brian Love. Oh my gosh, this Chubby Bunny challenge is going to get ridiculous. Oh my gosh, we're adding 4 more clusters. And we got to do 2 beans. Oh my goodness. So Alex, I'm just going to throw this out there. You're $50 away from joining Steelers Talk Gold Club. And you get 3 free raffle tickets to every single raffle we do on the show from now until forever. Okay? And we're doing a Joey Porter Jr. jersey giveaway, a raffle. First week against the 49ers, our watch party here on the channel. We're giving away a Joey Porter Jr. jersey. If you want 3 free raffle tickets to that, $50. $50. And Brian, appreciate it, my man. He says, real one in the house. Stacked up those clusters. By the way, where's Chugs today? Chugs is on vacation. Chugs is with his fiance in Florida, living the life. Today I got producer Tex. And by the way, Tex, send it to full screen here. You're going to be doing a Bean-Boozled with me here. And if you guys think Jeremy Chugs is small, just wait till you see Mr. Tex. Come on over here, Tex. We're going to give you one here. Oh, we're going to give him old Band-Aid to start here, okay? We're going to give him old Band-Aid. And you know what? I'll do an old Band-Aid with you here, Tex, all right? Say what's good, Tex. You see this? You see this? You see this?
It's kind of doing me dirty, bro. You're 6'4".
Yeah, I know. I'm 6'5", by the way. Tex, how tall are you?
Like 5'6".
He's 5'6". Okay, so he's really not that tiny. All right, he looks like my child, but that's okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Go.
Fuck you, Tex, man. Tex got a good one on his first one. Come on, someone send in another 20. So someone send in another 20. He needs a bad bean. He needs a bad bean. Come on now. I'm gonna give 2 more minutes here. 2 minutes. Oh! Alexander Watson joins Steelers Talk Gold Club with a $50 super chat. Woo! Alexander, welcome to the club, my friend. Steelers Talk Gold Club has 10 members, Tex. Let's go. So this is what I'll say, man. That's going to be 2 beans for Tex. 2 beans for Tex. And, oh my gosh, dude, we got to add 5 more clusters. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. Dude, I'm looking at this. It's like literally a full handful of nerd clusters that I'm going to have to eat here in just a second. Oh my God. Ugh. Dude, this is going to be ridiculously gross. All right, Alex, welcome to the club, my friend. Lifetime membership for you in the Steelers Talk Gold Club. Oh my goodness, dude. All right, Tex, get over here. Get over here. You know what? I'll do one with you. You need to do 2, but so this one is going to be grass shavings. All right. All right. I'll do a grass one too. All right, grass shavings. This is to you, Alex. Let's go. Mine's good. Yours is good. He got a second good one?
Let's go. Not bad.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You got 2 good ones in a row? That's literally impossible. That's literally impossible. Okay, we got. Oh,
You got one more?
yep. Here we go. So this one is liver and onions for you. For you.
Oh, God. Okay.
Come on, liver and onions, bad one. Come on.
Oh.
There we go. We finally got him, guys. Liver and onions for Mr. Tex. And welcome to the Steelers Talk Gold Club, Alex. Appreciate the support, my man. You've been awesome today. And now that's my timer there. So now it's time. And now here is the entire handful of nerd clusters that I have to eat right now. All right. This isn't going to be easy, man, but you guys earned it. All right, here we go. All right, so we got Chubby Bunny here. Chubby Bunny. 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 This is getting hard. Oh my God. Too much sugar. Chubby Bunny. Oh, Chubby Bunny. Oh. Not even halfway done. Chubby Bunny. This is gross. This is way too much sugar. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Oh my God. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. We're almost there, guys. Come on. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. 3 more, guys. Come on. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny. Chubby Bunny, for those that can't hear me. Last one. Last one. Chubby Bunny. Okay, here we go. This one's for all the real ones out there. Chubby Bunny! Yeah! This is gross. What did I do today, man? This is a terrible idea. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. That was I literally couldn't do it anymore, man. I literally couldn't do it. It was like so much sugar and so much like sour flavoring like in the back of my throat. It literally made me gag. Don't recommend that, guys, but hey, thank you guys so much for $185 in Super Chat Rev today. 77 likes. You guys really showed up today. Really do appreciate it. Next week, Jeremy Chuggs will be back with me in the producer chair. Really do appreciate the support, guys. It was a great show. I will see you guys later. And as always, here we go, Steelers.